pay-per-view, and that should be an exciting time. And we're now joined by four-time heavyweight champion, Evander Holyfield. Evander?
How you doing?
How are you, sir?
I'm doing great.
It's good to have you on the show. Now, Evander, you're a guy now, 47 years old, and I look at your body, and I see a 21-year-old. Evander, I'm a guy who's trying to lose a little weight myself. What's the secret? How do you stay in such great shape?
Well, it's easy to maintain than to rebuild. And so, one of the things, if you don't allow yourself to get out of shape, you don't have to work hard to maintain.
And so you're a guy who throughout, when there's not a fight, you're a guy who's in the ring still training and still staying in good shape.
Well, no, it's mainly it's kind of lifestyle. With me, I'm an exerciser. I may not do the vigorous training that I would do in boxing, but I like running, so I know I can take a 45-minute jog, and but take my time and not kind of competitive. I got to run fast or something. The only thing I have to do is just make sure I do it. And, do 45 minutes and like running to music and things like that. And I have kids and stuff, and I do things with them because I pretty much have to show them how to do certain things and stuff like that. So which end up that I'm actually working out.
Right. Now, Evander, when you face Sherman Williams November 5th and at Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, you would be 48 years old at that time. Now, talk about your style in the past and your prime, and talk about your style now.
Well, okay, of course, as a kid, I always had to outwork my opponent because, I always gave up side difference all the time. But, my mother used to always tell me that it's up to you to let somebody outwork you. So I guess at that point in time in my whole life, I just always just apply myself to outwork people, and it became the way my career was established. But now, when you got older and you have knowledge on your side more so than the youth, and so you just have to outthink people. So you at some point in time you have to change game, and so now I'm a wiser person, and I have to be smart enough to how to because the difference is that when you're older, it takes more time to recover. Mm-hmm. But for faith-wise, your faith is a lot stronger, and you have to make less mistakes and be able to capitalize on your opponent's mistakes. So I would be able to do that, and that's what allowed me to stay in the game now and allowed me to believe that I could be an undisputed heavyweight champion of the world again.
Now, speaking of that, you've been talking that you want, and your goal is to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. And how long? I mean, you're 48. You'll be 48 when this fight happens in November. How long will you stay in the game to achieve that goal?
Well, I don't know, because I take one day at a time, and I don't do what a lot of other people do. They think about how quick something's going to be and all that, and you make more mistakes when you put unnecessary pressure on yourself. You take one fight at a time. Of course, if I fall, I fight again and don't believe that I can go to the next fight, then I won't do the next fight. But I take one fight at a time. But I believe if I continue to take one step at a time, then I don't put that much pressure on myself that allow me to try to do something that I don't think I could do stop. Either way it go, when you put unnecessary pressure on yourself, you ain't doing them but pressing yourself. You don't have to do that. Take one day at a time. Tomorrow is not promised to you, but you hope for tomorrow, and tomorrow comes, you ready.
Right. And now, speaking of your last fight was against Francois Botha, a guy you stopped in the 8th round. got to a slow start, but you finished strong. What made you effective in that fight?
Well, I was able to overcome the things that a lot of things that people didn't know. Yeah, a week before that fight, when I was in Vegas, I rolled an ankle, twisted my ankle, and I had to fight a different fight, and I was able to fight that different fight, and I was able to come up with a victory. And so, I'm thankful that I did what's necessary, because I could have just walked away from that fight and said, but so many fights has been canceled because of the difficulties, and I just realized is if I keep telling people I'm going to fight and they keep getting fight, something keep happening, not on my behalf, but just things that keep happening, the fight don't come through, people get to thinking that this guy just saying that he's going to do something that he's not going to do. He's not coming back. So it was very important for me to go ahead and take that fight and make the best of it. And I won, and now I'm the 5-time heavyweight champion of the world. WBF, and a lot of people say, what is that? And I said, well, but that's a belt that I won to start off, but now if I continue, I hopefully next year be able to get the WBA or the IBF or the WBC, but it's just one more step that I'm taking.
Now, Evander, fair or unfair, you've been criticized by many for continuing to fight on. Is this about winning belts, or, as some would say, is it about the money?
Well, it's about neither one of them, but in the process of me doing what I said I was going to do, it gonna help both of the things that you said. It's not really about belts, but I was a person as a kid that was show you that life is about finishing. If you finish, then you will ultimately get what you really wanted to be. My goals has been from the time I started boxing to be the very best I could be, and to be the very best you be, you have to retire. You got to retire what you say you set your plans out to be. And at the end of the rainbow, I wanted to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, and I became the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world in 1990. October 25th against Buster Douglas. I lost against Reddy Bowe in 1992. I came back and beat Reddy Bowe in 1983, but he gave one of the belts up, which was the WBC belt, and I'd never been able to get all three of them back again, and it have taken all this time for me I got close in 1999 with Lennox Lewis, and they gave him a unanimous decision. And like I told him, I get back in line. And so I'm still in line, and it's taken all this time. But anything worth having is worth waiting for. It took me 20 years to become the heavyweight champion of the world, and I was told I could be the heavyweight champion of the world when I was 8 years old and only weighed 65 pounds. So it lets you know that if you believe, you can receive it.
Now, Evander, you're a guy that one of your greatest attributes is you never quit. But at some point, are some things in life not meant to be? I know you're a guy that likes to finish what he wants to do, but at some point in life, is some things not meant to be?
Well, that's what they say, but you got to ask yourself, what is that? It's some things like, if it was you that said that you gonna do this and you never had in a boxing lesson, then I may say myself, I don't know, you should be doing that. I'm telling you, you're host of this show, and you do a great job. And it was almost like saying, I'm gonna be better than you. And you may tell me, holy, that ain't meant to be. That ain't what you do. I would say, you're right, because this ain't nothing I have did no more than somebody told me. But I'm sure that you have to have some kind of goal in your life to allow you to be who you are. And there's always somebody saying, man, do you not know that your chance of being that is not great? But I came from the ghetto. And I was told I wasn't going to be good at nothing. But I had a mama who told me, she said, son, You know, you don't need to try to be good at 1,000 things. Find one thing to master it. If you master it, then you can be the very best. And my whole life been brought up in that singular thing. I found boxing and, you know, didn't particularly like it a lot because I thought about all the things that could happen and had so many people telling me you'll get your teeth knocked out, you can get this. Everything that these people did to try to discourage me, but, you know, I'm a Christian and I believe is fear not. You know, it's God who we love and you love him and you pray and go out and do your very best and make the adjustments when you make the mistakes. Of course, you know, of all the fighters that ever fought that were considered great, as a heavyweight, I have more setbacks than them, so I have a lot of setbacks, but I've been the champion more times than they've been too because I didn't quit and I was able to make the adjustment. And I just know part of life is that you're going to make mistakes, but the big part of it, you can correct them if you want to. So I choose to correct them.